My colleagues have just talked about the fact that if it had happened in a place like Japan, you resign. But how many of our senior people have we seen own the problem that has happened to pacify society when that looks like it's negligence on their part, to represent the values that the society should have stood for? None. So, yes, Kamau should have, but why would you expect Kamau to be an exception when a society is full of that impunity?
All right, Hashi?
You know, the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable former Prime Minister, went there on Saturday and said, gave orders. And the reaction was, who is he to give orders?
Yes.
There's a man who wants to do something about this. Of course, the people who and the MPs who are talking have not noticed that the leader of the majority and the leader of the minority are working together in Parliament. So Mr. Odinga's is part of the national government, and I don't think people should shy away from it. And I don't think people should say that he is speaking as an engineer, he is speaking as a head of the AU. Mr. Odinga is a co-leader to the president in this country today. And he was speaking,
contested position.
And he was speaking in that capacity, and he said the right thing. And also, I think that the transport minister there, as my colleagues have said, is just, without any bad intentions, just was slipping at his job. I mean, Olive, the death in our communities and in our culture and in our faith is, a pretty big deal, particularly in African cosmology. Bodies are very important because this gives closure to families. You could see the person is not there. This makes you accept that death. This family doesn't have any closure. And not having closure is a very, very difficult thing. So I think, and I've said on this panel, and my colleagues have buttressed that position many times, we need a disaster preparedness office. And we know the best guy who could do this is Mr. Goulet over there in Mombasa. You need to get him out of the retirement and bring him here so that we can assess the grid of this country. There's nothing we could do much about completely overhauling the system for now, but we can stop massive amounts of deaths and problems that are going to come because of the mismanagement of our. So we should not have a ferry, Olive. We should have had a bridge, like Mustafa said last week. The bridge should have been there. We're building railways, we're building highways. We need to build bridges as well, and we need to build other things of the infrastructure, and we need to make sure that our urban planning systems have been digitized and new technologies used so that we can stop the death of Kenyans. We ought to give that family the right of closure, and we need to drag that car and those bodies out of the bottom of the sea.
All right, Professor Midamba?
Olive, I happen to believe that every life in Kenya matters, and that we have a system to protect our life, and that we are working together to perfect that. And let me pick up from where Hashi left. When I watched that man standing and saying, please let me have my wife and my child and bury. That's what's taken the mind of every Kenyan. That's what reflects in what we call our externalities. That is our reputation. And at this point, only in time, there are instruments that can go to the depth of the sea and exactly pinpoint where that thing lies. So in terms of our integrated security system, which we need to have by now, Americans have homeland security. And homeland security means fire brigade is talking to the police is talking to someone else, and national security and everything all deployed at the same time. And therefore, we cannot have that ferry running back and forth without a clear and packaged information on what to do at what time. And if that was present, why have we not been told? And why are we going to South Africa to bring those people after thinking And if that was part of the exercise, the South African help, we should have seeked them immediately. And therefore, we look horrible. And, you know, Dr. Matiang'i is doing a terrific job in trying to bring all these people together to work. Where is the Minister of Transportation on these things, people? Someone need to be accountable, like Mustafa said. If you are in South Korea or you are in Japan, you need to come out and be accountable to Kenyans for the job you do. Or let's have someone else do it.
And not hide.
Well, they're hoping our short-term memory will kick in, you know, and we'll forget about it soon enough. But are we just that? You've talked about like having a protocol. There should be a protocol that in the event of this should happen. In the event of this should happen. Why are we always caught flat-footed? Why do we need the Israelis to come and save us when a building collapses? Why do we need, you know? What have we not gotten right as far as disaster management is concerned? Because one of the questions that was asked by the residents of Mombasa is that, in all honesty, this is one car, 2 people. It has taken us, I think it's been over a week to retrieve the vehicle and their bodies. What if there was, like somebody mentioned, is it Hassan mentioned Mtongwe? What would happen then? What are we not getting right as far as disaster management is concerned? I know Hashi has made a recommendation that we need to bring in a bus. What's your recommendation, Dr. Mustafa?
You know, first of all, we need to learn that, you know, Kenya continues to eat its tribalism. Yeah. We put people in position not because of merit, but because of what tribe they belong to, what political affiliation they belong to. We need to kick that out of the window and put people, not just the Kenya ferry services, but everywhere across the board, people who deliver.
Yes.
All right.
Very important.
As simple as that. Okay.